I was recently contacted from an Amazon seller called eCase, and they wanted me to review a new table lamp they're getting in it. It's manufactured by KMASHI. It's a little LED table lamp. I think it retails for like $20 or so on Amazon. So I was like, yeah, sure, send it on over. I'll take a look at it, see what it's all about. So it came from Amazon, and very plain little box, just says KMASHI. That's the brand name that they have in here. KMASHI bedside lamp, new, KMASHI.com, made in China. And that's it. So let's open it up and see what we got. We have the light itself, KMASHI branded. Here's the touch top. It's supposed to have a touch top, so there's no actual buttons on it. It has a little hanger if you want to hang it upside down. And it's powered by microUSB. And that's it. So, down the bottom of the box there's a little trap door. Pull that out. And they give you an AC to DC USB power converter. And that is 5 volts out, 1 amp. So it's rated for 1 amp. And a short micro USB cable with a really thick USB end. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just easy to grip or something, but that's big. Fits perfectly fine. And let's see what else we got here. We have, here is how we can connect. Facebook, whatever, contact you all. Thank you for purchasing KMASHI product. 1 year hassle-free warranty. No, it's just a little warranty pamphlet. And come on, unfold. One-sided, 5 pages of basic instructions. So let's plug it in and check it out and see what it does. So here's AC power. Let's untie the USB cord. Put that to the side right here. And plug it in. Okay, cool. Got red, green, blue, yellow, white, brighter white, and back to red again. And yes, I have previously read the instructions on this. So basically it's, the top button is a touch capacitive button. That's all it is. So you just touch it. If you hold it for 3 seconds, it turns the light on, and 3 seconds again, it turns it right off. And once it's on, it's just tap, tap, tap. You can go through it. And that's basically it. So, yep, you can hang it upside down. It runs by 1 amp USB. Well, let's put it this way. It's rated for 1 amp USB. Let's plug it into a charger doctor and see exactly how much power it actually pulls. So, unplug that. Plug in my charger doctor. And this will also see how good their power adapter actually is. No load, 5.12 volts. So, that's good. It's not already sagging or anything. Let's plug it on in and see what it does. Guess I gotta turn it back on again. And considering it's waiting for a button press, it's not even pulling 1/100th of an amp. So it's whatever chip's in it, which we're going to pull it apart in a second and see what's in there, is pretty efficient. It's not wasting any power on-off mode. Turn it on. It's on blue. And the voltage is still holding, actually 5.14 volts, 1.5 watts, or 0.3 of an amp. See if it changes that much with different colors. There we go. Yellow. Yeah, the yellow, that's the only one I've noticed. Oh wait, that's not yellow. That's color change. I didn't know there was a color change mode. It does it automatically. It's a fade through. Oh, there's purple and everything else. Okay, that explains it. I guess I should actually sit on some of these for a while. But yeah, I've seen it vary. It's going down to 0.3 of an amp, and I saw it spike, I think, when it went with a bunch of colors. 44, 55, 60, 64, 65. 650 milliamps was about the highest I saw at that. Okay. Low white is 360 milliamps. High white. I'm assuming it's probably an RGB LED inside there, so all of them are turned on full hard. Is 770 milliamps. Yeah, now we're back down to 340. Green's only 260 milliamps. Blue is 310 milliamps. And their power adapter is actually doing real good. I've never seen it go below 5.10 volts, so it's actually pretty good. Now, the one thing I do need to mention, though, is do not plug this into your computer or your laptop or anything like that, because it will go over a half an amp of power. You could risk damaging your USB port on your computer. Always use this from any dedicated 1 amp little power brick. So this way it'll be safe. So let's see how well it works with a battery bank. So I got my Tomo 4 18650 lithium ion battery bank. Let's plug it in there and just put it into the 1 amp port, not the 2 amp, because it doesn't really need it. Plug it in. It's waking up. And chances are you probably only have 20 seconds to actually turn it on, otherwise this thing's going to turn off again. There we go. Now it sees the current draw. And it's running great. Now I'm in a bright area right now, and I can tell you it's bright. It's actually not bad. It's not like a 60 watt light bulb bright, but it's bright and it's very well diffused. Now, to try to demonstrate it a little bit for you, right now on my camera, I have the exposure locked, and I'm in a bright room. So I'm going to keep recording through this whole little segment right here. I'm going to pick up the tripod and the light. We're going to go into the bathroom and close the door so it's really dark, and hopefully that'll give you an idea of exactly how bright this thing really is. So I'm going to switch back to autofocus, and let's go to the bathroom. I'm going to keep this running the whole time. Let's pick this on up. Ow. Yeah, that's great. Okay, bathroom. Okay, let's see if I can get off to the side here. And close the door. So now we're currently lit only by this unit. I'm going to try to put it down here. Oops, I accidentally turned it off. There we go. Now it's back on. See if I can get some focus on it. Perfect. Okay, so this is how bright it actually is, and it's on color changing mode right now. Let's just go to bright white. Now, it's not as good as the regular light, like if I switch it on. I'd probably say it's the equivalency of like a 20 or 30 watt light bulb, a regular incandescent one. But it works really well. Even red. Yeah, definitely. Green, blue. You can actually really see the colors. They're very vibrant now that it's dark. When it was just sitting on my desk, it was just too bright. It was getting washed out by the camera. And now we're back in the color changing mode. It takes a few seconds for it to kick in. There we go. Now it's changing colors again. Ooh, that's a bright purple. So, let me stop it. We'll go back to the desk again. There you go. Go ahead. Turn it on. Oh, you got to hold it for a few seconds. There you go. Go ahead and change colors. Look at that. And apparently it entertains 2-year-old girls as well. And you can see how easy it is to operate. You gonna turn it back off? There you go. Turn it back on. Go through the colors. She's like a trained seal. I love it. So it can also handle a slight beating too. Sad thing is, she'll do this for half an hour straight.
Why?
No, that's red, silly. Okay, so let's open it up now and see exactly what's inside of here. So it looks like I got a few screws underneath this little rubberized band that's meant to keep it slip-free and not mess up your surfaces that it's on. So let's see if we can get underneath that gently. Okay, let's see if it just top pops off or the bottom comes off. Oh, okay, bottom comes off. That was easy enough. Okay, we got a fairly nice circuit board in here. Let's unscrew the circuit board and get that out of the way. I just got to watch out. There's a little tiny yellow wire sitting right here, and you can see it's marked TP1. And I'm going to assume, since that wire is really thin, it's probably going up to the top sensor. So we gotta be gentle. Let's take out the circuit board so this way you can see the LEDs on the other side. Got it. Okay. Now we get the circuit board out and take a look at it. If I can stop jamming it in there. There we go. Stuck by the micro USB port. And there we go. Yes, and the wire actually runs up to a single connector up inside to the touch sensor. So that's what that one wire is for. Let's put that to the side. And on the bottom of the board, let's see here. You got a center chip here. I'm going to assume that's probably the microcontroller, but as usual, they have the markings all rubbed off of it, so I can't really tell. It could be a PIC microcontroller. It's definitely not an Atmel. I don't think Atmel has anything quite like that, at least not as far as I know. Not unless it's like an ATmega 8, which I've never messed with yet. Right here. That's an Atmel chip, actually. I'll have to look up that real quick. Okay, I pulled up the data sheet for that Atmel chip. It's actually a microcontroller. It's an 8-pin. It says it's actually a drop-in replacement for the ATmega 325, 3250, 329, and 3290p. So it's an 8-bit microcontroller, which could possibly run Arduino code if you ever can pull it out. So this thing could be hackable. Who knows? This chip must be something to do with driving the LEDs, but it's still rubbed off. You still can't tell what it is. This is an 8-bit microcontroller, an 8-pin Atmel chip, and it looks like we have a bunch of resistors running around for each of the LEDs, which I'll flip over in a minute. You have an electrolytic capacitor, which is coupled directly to the 5-volt input from the micro USB. You have a voltage regulator here. Not sure, I can't read that small enough, but everything is built really nicely. This board's laid out nice, and you can even tell by looking at it, they did a lot of via stitching to reduce any type of heat and ground loops. So let's flip it over, and on the back of it, okay, that's what's going on here then. We'll have to plug this in and actually try it again, see what it does. But we have two sets of LEDs running around here. One is this, looks like a yellow. I'll venture to say those are only used when you go into the high white brightness mode, and all the rest of the modes use the RGB. These are probably, actually, you know what? I would definitely say these are WS2812s, because there's a little black speck in the center, which is usually the microcontroller for the 3 separate LEDs in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 pairs of LEDs on here, and actually all the stitching. The stitching is not heat dissipative, because these really shouldn't create that much heat at all. Honestly, each one, I know each one of these I think are rated for like 60 milliamps. This is probably another 30 milliamps itself, so you're not really dissipating a lot of heat. But I think all these are just ground stitching. That's all it is. But they did a lot of ground stitching. They did a very good job on it. So let's see if we can power it up, and I can do a test point without actually having that. Maybe I'll just pick up my finger and see exactly how this thing cycles through the lights. So let's plug it on in the correct way. Let's see if okay, we got a power on. There we go, it powered on. Okay, so this should be color change mode. Give it a few seconds. Yep, this is color change mode. So we're using the WS2812s, or also known as NeoPixels, for all the color changing. Let's see if I can cycle through. There we go. Okay, that's low white. So it's using the dedicated white lights for low. Now high, I guess, combines the other lights as well. Oh, maybe that was high. Okay, there's red, there's green, there's blue. That's color change mode. There's white. Oh, bright white. Okay, so apparently there's 2 amperage settings on the dedicated white lights. It's not using the RGBs at all for the white light itself. It just has a lower brightness and a higher brightness on the dedicated white lights, which would have been really nice if they had a third function to actually use these as a full white as well. Wow, that's really bright without the diffuser. And the only thing I forgot to mention, this has a really good inductor on here for the voltage regulator. So let's put it back together and I'll give you a few final thoughts on this. So there you go. For $20, it's actually a pretty cool unit. And I'm surprised at how well the circuit board is actually laid out and done inside there for a $20 unit from China. I'm sure this is, actually I think it did, yeah, made in China. So yeah, this is really good quality. Apparently I touched it. Get back on color changing mode. I want it on color changing mode. It's really sensitive sometimes, even if you don't touch it right on the pad. So it works really well. I'm still running it from the USB battery bank, and I like the fact that I can use it on a battery bank because this way, with the hook, if I want to, I can use this for camping as well. And it's not harsh. The diffusion, because you saw how bright those LEDs were when I pulled the circuit board out and turned it on without being inside this case. That's what my old camping light was like. It had this one really bright light, but no diffusion. So it blinded the heck out of you when you're camping. I can take this with me and run it on the battery bank for hours and hours each evening, and then just recharge the battery bank by solar the next day, and I have a great light. So not only can I use it at home, I can use it at camping really easily. So I have no gripes whatsoever with the product itself. It's great. The only thing I have a bit of a gripe with is two wordings in the listing for this product. And it could be just my brain's wired weird, but when you go into the description for the product itself on Amazon, the first thing it says under Operation Guide, plug the wall charger first. My brain stopped right there and thought, okay, this thing's battery powered. And I took it out of the box. When I got it, I'm like, this thing's too light. There's no battery. Even a LiPo battery is not that freaking light. I mean, honestly, this thing weighs maybe a quarter to a half a pound. That's it. It's plastic and one circuit board. So I thought it was battery powered. It wasn't. I was kind of disappointed for 5 seconds until I really tried the product and saw it's still pretty freaking cool. And I can still run it from batteries anyway. So it's not a big deal, but it kind of misled me a little bit. Maybe, it's just the way my brain's wired. The other part that got me in the description was there's a section on it that says dimmable warm white light plus multi-RGB light. So white light is for normal illumination, and 4 RGB lights is for creating ambience, which I guess is a red, green, blue, and whatever. But it's 4 light colors. But the biggest thing is it says it's dimmable. So I'm thinking, okay, if I give a quick tap or anything like that, there is no dimmable. I think what they meant by dimmable was when you go for a warm white light, I think it should be worded there are a low and a high, or some weird way of saying that. There's a low and a high white light setting. It's not dimmable. Dimmable usually means, at least to me, that it has an infinite range. You can change it up and down and make it brighter and darker. No, this has, as you saw before, it has a low white setting and a high white setting. So I would word that a little differently because I find it slightly misleading, but honestly, the product does what it's supposed to do. If you change those two words from charger to adapter, which they did supply a quality adapter with it, and change the dimmable to dual white light setting or something like that, I can't complain at all. That's the only two things I can say about it. So what do you think of this product? I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm going to have fun with it myself. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. Thanks.